Welcome to the world of Eugenia swimwear, where style meets sensuality. Introducing our newest collection, designed to make heads turn. Whether you're lounging by the poolside or dancing under the moonlight, Eugenia swimwear has you covered beautifully. Feel the touch of sensuality. Experience the allure of Eugenia. Eugenia swimwear, where elegance and desire seamlessly collide.
Mike Rotunda, often known as Mike Rotundo and Barry Windham, two brothers in-law, joined together to form this iconic team.
Not only were they brothers-in-law, but they had a history of teaming in Florida territories before joining the WWF.
Upon their arrival, they adopted a patriotic gimmick with "Born in the USA" as their entrance music and Captain Lou Albano as their manager.
These men defined the American spirit in professional wrestling. They'll always be remembered as the U.S. Express. They made their WWF debut on October 30, 1984, and they defeated Muhammad Syed and Bobby Bass.
That's right. And then they became the WWF World Tag Team Champions on January 21, 1985, after beating Adrian Adonis and Dick Murdoch.
They held the titles for 2 months before challenging Nikolai Volkoff and the Iron Sheik at Wrestlemania 1.
I remember that match. It was a classic. Volkoff and the Iron Sheik won, but the U.S. Express gave them a run for their money.
They were a great team. They were young, athletic, and they had a lot of potential.
It's a shame that they didn't have a longer run as champions, but they definitely made their mark on the WWF. Well, folks, we head into the locker room with the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkoff, with Fred Blassie as their manager.
And here's where we first heard the Iron Sheik coin the phrase "Gene Mane."
That's right. Years before Razor Ramon would make it his signature.
Gibberish-induced interviews like this are what wrestling is all about.
I swear the Sheik just said it's the best time in my life for strip situation.
I think he meant shape situation, but who knows?
In the grand tradition of heel managers, Mr. Blassie knows how to hype up his team.
And the crowd is eating it up. This is what makes pro wrestling so entertaining.
Let's start with the Freudian slip.
What Freudian slip?
When you called Nikolai Volkoff commie instead of comrade.
Oh, that. It was a mistake.
Or was it a subconscious revelation?
You can swear through this interview, you know.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this. Why would you make a slip like that?
I don't know. Maybe because I think Nikolai Volkoff is a communist.
That's a pretty serious accusation.
Hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying what I saw.
Well, I'll need you to provide some evidence.
I don't have any evidence. It's just a feeling I had.
A feeling?
Yeah, a feeling. You know, like when you know something is true, even if you can't prove it.
I think I understand. Now let's talk about the tag team champions, the U.S. Express.
Yes, they've been doing great lately. They're a tough team to beat, led by their manager, Captain Lou Albano. What the hell is that on his chin?
It looks like safety pins with rubber bands hanging from it.
Well, that's one of the many things about Captain Lou Albano that caught Cyndi Lauper's eye.
I suppose it's part of the rock and wrestling connection.
Windham and Rotundo would later be known in the WWF as IRS and the Stalker.
And with the IRS and the Stalker, they somehow managed to tax their way to the titles. During the interview, Mean Gene turns to Mike Rotundo, but Mike cuts him off and replies, "Gene, all the talking is done. We're going in the ring now." He asks Barry Windham a question, but he replies with the same answer. Gene, we're on our way to the ring right now.
One thing I've got to ask, guys, why are you still in your polos?
But you're not even wearing your gear.
Well, that's certainly interesting. I've never seen a team strip down to put on their gear in front of the interviewer before.
Well, it looks like they're finally going to put on their gear. Windham and Rotundo are taking off their polos.
Wait a minute, what's this? Windham and Rotundo are stripping down to their underwear.
I can't believe this. They're actually going to put on their gear in front of the fans.
Well, I'll be damned. I guess anything can happen in the WWF.
Well, here he is, the one and only Volkoff.
And he's singing the Russian national anthem.
The crowd is surprisingly respectful.
I know, right? I thought they'd be drowning him out with horns and booze.
The Iron Sheik is confusing the crowd.
I think he's trying to say that Russia, Iran, and USA are all number one.
But that doesn't make any sense.
I know. It's enough to bring MSG to a silent confusion.
Wow! Did you hear that? The U.S. Express is coming down to the ring now.
Yeah, I see them. That team is comprised of the tax collector and the husband killer, led by Captain Lou Albano, no less.
The husband killer. That's a bit intense, don't you think?
Oh, it gets even better. Apparently, Barry Windham is known as the Widowmaker. He creates widows by killing husbands. Talk about a dark gimmick.
So what's next? 1-800-LINES for the services of a stalker. 1-800-I-KILL-HUSBANDS. Who came up with that idea?
I have no idea, but whatever it's supposed to mean, all we know is that it implies murder. Pretty morbid for a wrestling gimmick.
True. But you know how it goes in the world of wrestling. Anything goes. Let's see how this plays out in the ring. Hopefully, no actual husbands will be harmed in the making of this match. We sort of get a ripped-off Born in the USA Peacock version dubbed over the entrance theme for US Express.
That's right, Gorilla. And let's not forget that these two are both all Americans from Syracuse. Well, actually, Gorilla, only Mike Rotundo is from Syracuse.
Oh, really? Interesting. So, he's not a real American after all?
Well, he was born in the USA, so I guess that makes him an American.
But he's not from Syracuse, so he's not a real American.
I don't know, Gorilla. I'm just a commentator.
Well, let's move on to another topic. Did you know that the Iron Sheik was a two-time Olympic team member?
Actually, Gorilla, that's not true. The Iron Sheik was never an Olympic wrestler.
Really?
Yeah, he was just an assistant coach for Team USA in 1972.
Breaking news, Jesse. We have an explosive development in the wrestling world.
What is it, Gorilla?
Jesse, I've noticed something peculiar about the championships here.
What's that?
The tag team title belts look remarkably similar to the old NWA World title. It's like a throwback to a simpler time.
That's fascinating, Gorilla. It's also interesting to note that the belts here are all different from the ones we're used to seeing today. These are the primitive versions.
So it seems.
Another thing we've noticed, Gorilla, is that while we've seen plenty of dead Super Bowls, World Series, and English languages, we've never seen a dead WrestleMania.
That's true, Jesse. But I'm starting to wonder if we're seeing a lot of dead wrestlers here.
Tragically, yes.
Match begins with a huge hip lock and drop kick and body slam on the Iron Sheik by Rotundo.
Oh, man. That was some crazy agility and, dare I say it, aerial prowess.
Indeed, Jesse. Rotundo is certainly showing off his incredible athleticism.
Barry Windham tags in now.
Windham tags in and drops the boot on the Iron Sheik to his lower abdomen.
Wow, that was a brutal shot.
Sheik somehow kicks Nikolai as they are trying to hit Wyndham as he hits his own partner.
Oh, no. That was an illegal move.
I agree, Jesse. Sheik's boots are an ominous-looking weapon. He should not be using them in this match.
I can't believe that's not part of professional wrestling, Gorilla. What are you talking about? People kick people all the time with wrestling boots.
It is against the rules, Jesse, illegal. That can't be. Believe it or not, folks, we have a battle of the managers at ringside. Captain Lou and Freddie Blassie are going at it.
Wyndham gets the hot tag and goes for a drop kick on Volkoff.
But wait, here comes the Iron Sheik. He's got Freddie Blassie's cane.
Sheik nails Wyndham with a cane shot over the shoulder.
Volkoff covers Wyndham. 1, 2, 3.
And we have new WWF Tag Team Champions. Nikolai Volkoff and the Iron Sheik defeat the U.S. Express in just 6 minutes and 56 seconds.
I mentioned during the broadcast that the crowd here is stunned, as well as the million-point-something plus watching. I said something plus.
You meant million-point-something watching around the globe. Could have said a million plus, Gorilla. It's the same thing.
I'm guessing apes aren't necessarily math wizards.
But wait a minute, Gorilla. Blassie is denying that the Iron Sheik had a cane.
Are you kidding me, Jesse? We all saw it.
Well, Blassie is saying that he doesn't know where the cane came from.
This is ridiculous. Blassie is a master manipulator. He's trying to get away with one here. In the meantime, the match has resumed, and the Sheik is putting the belt on and barking into the microphone about how they've triumphed, and Blassie's got the tag team champions now.
It's funny, Gorilla, because Mean Gene points out that there was some controversy regarding the winner of the match.
I'm not surprised, Jesse. Blassie is always looking for an angle.
Well, it was nice to see Freddie Blassie doing some Bobby Heenan type stuff there.
Indeed, Jesse. He's a master of the art of deception. I don't think there was any real backstory to this, other than Sheik and Volkoff hate America.
And the U.S. Express were the reigning tag team champions.
Exactly. Wyndham would eventually go on to smaller and worse things in the WWF as the Widowmaker, the Stalker, and Blackjack Wyndham.
And Rotundo became IRS, the evil tax man.
You can say the same for the opponents. Volkoff formed the Bolsheviks, jumped on the American bandwagon, and became Nickel Dime Volkoff.
And Sheik became an Iraqi despite being from Iran.
Wrestling is a strange business. Jesse, what did you think of that match?
I thought it was a banger. One of the best I've seen so far, with the fans really getting into it.
Yeah, the USA versus the Foreigners angle really had them on their feet.
Absolutely. And that title change was a great moment.
True, but it was just a transitional reign. The Express got the belts back a couple months later.
And then they split up?
That's right. Both guys ended up in the NWA.
Well, at least it was a memorable storyline while it lasted.